Hi all, and welcome to Prepare Like a Pro live chats. My name is Jack McLean. I'm the founder of Prepare Like a Pro. We're a strength and conditioning service based in Melbourne, but also working with athletes all around the country. If you're interested in following my programs, you can head over to my website to work with me one-on-one, which is preparelikeapro.com, as well as download free training programs, check out my presentations, and any future activities that I'll be doing, head over to my website. I'm just going to invite our guests this evening. While Tommy Mitchell is jumping on board, I just want to do a quick intro. There he is. How you going, Tommy?
How are you, Jack?
Going well, mate. Thanks for jumping on.
Mate, it's an honour. I'm pretty rapt to get the call up tonight. You've had some big names on here. Andrew Lambert, for one.
Yeah, four-time
Premiership physio, Andrew Lambert, as he likes to call himself.
Trump him tonight, mate. I'll do a quick intro and then we'll get stuck in.
No worries.
For those that don't know Tommy, he's an Australian rules football. He's the vice captain of the Hawthorn Football Club. He started his journey when he was drafted under the father and son rule with pick 21 to the Sydney Swans. He's the current record holder for the most possessions in a season, where he also polled 2 games. So he's the only player to have more than 1 game above 50 disposals in one season. In 2017, 2018 were both outstanding years for Tommy. He was runner-up in the Brownlow in 2017 and he won it in 2018. In both years was selected in All-Australian. 2019 and 2020 have had their fair share of challenges from a broken leg in 2019, as well as this year, the COVID hub challenges. However, Tommy's returned to performance outstandingly well, once again leading the Hawks in disposals and clearances and finishing second in the best and fairest, and got to captain the side twice as well in Ben Stratton's absence. So welcome again, mate. Thanks for jumping on. We'll get stuck in because a lot of guys have sent through questions.
Yeah,
I want to make sure we've got time for the fans as well. But take us back to the beginning, mate. When did you fall in love with the game, and what's your memory of when you realised, I want to work towards an AFL footballer?
Yeah, well, I probably grew up in a footy family. Obviously, Dad playing, having a long career of over 200 games. So, yeah, I started really young. It would have been at Auskick. I reckon I was down there when I was 3 or 4. And
yeah, right.
I think Dad was still coaching up until I was about 15 years old. So my whole childhood was around footy clubs, annoying the hell out of the players when I was a young fella. And yeah, it's funny how it's worked out. I'm in that position now. And yeah, it's funny when you meet kids, you see yourself in their position or you put yourself in their shoes. And that feels like not long ago that was me.
Yeah, fantastic. Awesome. So your dad had a strong influence as well as your extended family? Is it a big family, footy family?
Yeah, Dad obviously probably taught me a lot I know now about the game. And yeah, I suppose family always plays a really crucial part. You know, without your family's support, you know, it's hard to really go anywhere. And yeah, I've been lucky enough to have a number of great mentors along the journey. Diesel Williams, to name one, who's obviously, you know, he was a superstar throughout the 80s and 90s. But yeah, I've been very fortunate to have a lot of great people in my corner.
Yeah, fantastic. With all the challenges of this year, what has been your biggest challenge in your career? Has it been the last 2 years, or has there been bigger challenges that you've had along your journey?
I would probably say the broken leg was the toughest. Yeah, you know, I've still probably, you know, I feel really good, but I still feel as though there's another, you know, hurdle to sort of cross to get back to 100% and get back to feeling how I used to feel. So hopefully that's not too far away around the corner.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there was a few questions as well around the rehabilitation. So I might pop those up while we're on that theme. Here, this is the first one. How's the league after a season's worth of footy?
Yeah, I think this year has definitely helped. You know, to be able to play every game coming off an injury like that, you got to take the little wins. So I did get some continuity in my training and, you know, managed to play every game. And I think last year can only help me for 2021.
Absolutely.
It was almost just a year of, on a personal level, just getting the miles back into the legs really and getting used to playing footy again. It was challenging at times. Like sometimes your leg doesn't feel like it used to or didn't feel like your old leg. But as the season progressed, I felt there were some games there where I started to feel like my old self, which was nice.
Yeah, fantastic, mate. And this one here, what was the hardest part about rehab when coming back from a broken leg?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of challenges. I think anyone who's had a long-term injury, there's plenty of hurdles to overcome. Early days for me, there was a fair few mental hurdles. Like I was having quite a few nightmares, I suppose, about, replaying the incident in my head. And, I'd wake up in the night and reach down and grab my leg and, as if the incident had just happened. So that took a while to get on top of that. And then probably with the pain, like even walking was sore for, I think it was around the 5-6 month mark. Like I'd still get pain walking. So whatever those mental and physical barriers, your rehab program sort of gets on this sort of trajectory, and, you have your good days and your bad days. But, once you've got over the initial hurdle, then, it makes it a lot easier.
Yep. And this one is the last one in terms of probably the second part that you haven't answered, I guess. So how is it recovering from injury, then getting back into good form? So the good form aspect, how did you find that, getting your touch back and playing? You mentioned you feel like you're close to getting back to sort of your best. How did that aspect go from a peak performance point of view?
Yeah, I felt as though there would be, glimpses, I suppose, coming out in each game. And there was probably the second half of the year after, I've got some more conditioning into my legs was when I started to, put in some stronger performances. And what I put that down to is probably simply continuity and just getting strength back in my leg. You lose a fair bit of strength, when you break your leg, the muscles shut down for such a long period of time, as, a lot of guys in rehab would know that it actually takes quite a while to get them back and firing. So that's probably why, it took a little bit longer. But grateful to play every game. That was a huge step.
Yeah, that's amazing effort, mate. How was the recovery when you're getting back into games? What was your progression in terms of game time, and how long did it take before you recovered very well from week to week playing full game time?
Yeah, well, the new rules this year due to COVID probably helped me. The shorter games, I'm not sure have been managed or rested or played lower game time, but games were generally 100 minutes down from 120, so I was able to play normal game time, and that probably helped me a little bit.
Yeah, fantastic, awesome. And then this year 2020, with COVID, for those that weren't in the hub, what was it like? It sounds like it was a bit of a roller coaster, moving around heaps and routine. How did you cope with preparing yourself for week to week? It's a long season, and sometimes you wouldn't know who you're playing in a month's time. Did you learn things throughout the year that you feel better for in the future now? Is it for the rest of your journey?
Yeah, I suppose it was pretty unique. You had to just adapt basically. So, we were pretty depleted, with, number of staff, I suppose, things like massage therapists, all the little things that help you recover, the things you take for granted when the footy club's up and firing. You just got to find other ways to, get your body ready to play and perform. So, I suppose you find out what you can get by with.
Yeah.
And, it was challenging, but, I think to some extent we were pretty lucky to be able to, still play footy and do what we love when, back home in Melbourne, people were struggling big time and locked up. So, but we probably didn't deal with it too well as a team, which probably is reflected in our win-loss record. We could have done some things a little bit better, but it was a unique experience.
Yeah, I can imagine. And this time of year, what are your focuses on? Like, what are you? I imagine a big thing that I seem to hear about with footy is timing your run as an individual, but also as a group. So, how do you sort of approach this phase mentally and physically? What does your week look like from a training point of view, and what are some things that you do mentally to keep you fresh?
Yeah, from a team point of view, I think, we've lost a lot of experience. Isaac Smith, Chipper Frawley, Ricky Henderson, Poppy. I'm sure there's a couple of Strats. There's probably five guys over 30. So, it's really important that for us that our group really gels together, and we feel as though, the young guys coming through are ready to take the next step, and hopefully, they find the older guys really approachable and we can be one strong unit heading into this year. On a personal note, I think, last year's preseason was just about, it was almost like a rehab program. So, just getting to the start line really, whereas this year it's more a performance program. So, I suppose last year preparing just to get to the line and play, and this year it's like, okay, prepare to play well. So what that looks like on a weekly basis, Monday, Wednesday, Friday is mostly, your leg days. So for me at the moment, I've had a shoulder recur, so a lot of bike and leg weights on those days. And then I suppose Tuesday, Thursdays, I might do some work on my good arm and some core work and my shoulder rehab daily. So it's pretty much everyone's in, I suppose, preparation mode now. And, even out at the footy club, been out there a few times and a lot of guys are out there getting ready, which is great.
Oh, fantastic. Awesome, mate. All right, we'll start getting these questions going. So we'll start from the top, the guys that got in first. Hardest opponent from Tyler Finn.
Hardest opponent. I always find that Joel Selwood, he's a great opponent just because he's just ruthless in his approach. He won't give you an inch. You always know you're up for a tough fight when you're playing on him. So, yeah, I think he's really tough but good opponent to play against.
Yep. I'm working with Tyler, so he got a couple of questions in. So he's not on a NABs. He's working to get himself on a NAB League team, so he's looking for advice that you'd give him to, if you haven't been noticed yet.
Yeah, I suppose I can kind of relate to Tyler a little bit. I didn't really, I suppose, get noticed, if that's how you word it, until I was probably 16, 17. So I'm not sure how old he is, but I think it's pretty simple. I think you just need to be doing more than your peers, really. So if you know that you have your team training on Tuesday, Thursday, you just need to be doing more than everyone else. So whenever you find a spare 10, 20 minutes, you should be doing something, whether that's, just having a footy in your hand or having a stretch or just doing something to get the edge, because all those little things do add up at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. Do you, on that note, do you structure sort of your days the night before, or do you look at your week and have themes of your week in the off season, or do you go by feel with how the flow of your day goes? Yeah, how do you sort of structure your preparation?
Yeah, I used to be quite structured. I've probably let go of that a little bit. I have a rough guide of sort of what especially in season, I know what I need to do to get, ready to play, and, peak performance is the term you use quite a bit, but I know what that looks like in season. And in the off season, I suppose you're just getting your body ready for the pre-season, where there's going to be a huge workload, but then still on your day off, you might do something extra, but it won't be something that's taxing on your body.
Yeah.
And you're going to get the work in your main sessions. You don't need to be smashing yourself with an extra run or an extra bike or something. It's just finding the little 1%ers here or there on your day off that will give you a slight edge.
This one's an interesting one from Fletch. What was the preparation like this year compared to other years?
Preparation for 2020 season?
Yeah, I assume he's talking about the pre-season.
Yeah.
He just wrote preparation.
Yeah, so I think for the team, the pre-season was quite normal, and, we only started hearing about COVID, probably in March from memory. And, we obviously got round 1 away, and, that's when the break occurred, where we had about a 10-week break before round 2. So the pre-season and preparation was pretty similar to all years for the team, but during the season was obviously completely different.
Yeah. And then this one's around sort of footy IQ. So what training/study do you attribute to your footy IQ, awareness and ball winning ability?
Yeah, I suppose some of it is instinctive. And I think for someone, I'm not, super athletically gifted. I'm not overly fast, or I'm not the fittest at the club, or I'm not the strongest. So I probably rely on quick decision making, reaction times, seeing things unfold in the game quicker, and that's how that's what I rely on. And I suppose there is some vision and preparing that comes into that. And I enjoy watching footy, and watching footy behind the goals is especially, you can really watch your reaction times and see how you're reacting and getting out into space before others. So that's probably what I rely on in the game most.
This one's on a similar theme. It's how do you position yourself around the ground to gather so many possessions?
Yeah, it's probably a combination of things. It's probably, you need to work hard. You need to be able to get across the ground. And probably similar to what I just mentioned, it's, reacting, but then also knowing, and picking your times when to work 10% harder, and then picking your times when it's smart, or, to pull back slightly, and, you get into pockets of space with bits of intensity, but you just have to pick the right times to do it so you don't burn out.
Yeah. How long does that take? Because I've actually had a few conversations with 16, 17-year-olds who have mentioned that about their game, where they find it really hard to not go a million miles an hour every contest because they just want to win the ball and compete and everything. Did you learn it off lines coaches, throughout your own career, yourself personally? Like, how did you build that ability to, I guess it's pacing?
Yeah, I think I've been fortunate to have some pretty good coaches over the journey. Sam Mitchell currently, he's really high quality coach, and, he talks about having, quick feet when the ball's in your vicinity. So you're always going to be playing with high intensity when the ball's in your little 10-metre radius. And then outside of that, you need to, when the ball's not in your area, I suppose identify how dangerous your opponent is on defence, and then on offence, recognise when it's a teammate's turn to work into space or when it's yours, and then that's when you determine when to work at 100%, I suppose. But I suppose it just comes with experience, and the more you play, you figure it out as you go.
Yeah, fantastic. Skill development. How often as a junior would you do skills and craft? I guess you mentioned this earlier, how you really got that competitive edge by doing a fair bit of volume of work. Did you focus on this more than fitness? I think it is. Did you focus on this more than fitness? Yeah. So, yeah.
Back at my junior days, I was involved I played school footy, so that was a game a week, 1 or 2 training sessions. I played club footy, that was a game a week and 1 or 2 training sessions, and I played basketball. So yeah, I don't know how I didn't. Yeah, I look at kids, I'm like, I don't know how they don't break down or get sore, but I don't remember getting sore. So I just threw myself into everything, really. And now I recognise, I need to be smarter and look after my body. I probably couldn't, I couldn't do that now. But yeah, I think the more, whether it be other sports and things like that as well, there's a lot of skills that transfer over, and, coordination is key in any sport. So, I'd encourage, young kids to, be soccer, basketball, if you're a keen footballer, like all that stuff helps your footy, no doubt.
Yeah. Did you stop playing football?
I reckon I was 14 or 15, and then it was a footy phone then.
Yeah. So what are your goals for next year, footy-wise, from Noah?
Yeah, well, as a team, we realised we weren't at our best last year and we underperformed. So I think, the guys are pretty eager to make them. I think that's showing in the way guys are getting ready for the season and things like that at the moment. So hopefully that comes out in our performance. Yeah.
Plenty of fit guys coming in.
Yeah, Snacks Fit Gym is getting a good workout. So it's a gold coin donation for life membership at the moment. So you'll have to come around for a session when you're... Are you in Melbourne now or you're up in Anglesey?
Yeah, I'm in Melbourne now. So gold coin donation, that rings a bell. PCYC on Inkman Road in St Kilda, that's what it was.
Is that
when
right?
I started training, and you got to play basketball and got a gym session. I think you even got to get some boxing in as well for $2. Yeah. Loved it.
We don't provide all of that Snacks Fit, but you get the gym and you might get a snack like some barbecue shapes on the way out.
I love it. Yeah, that sounds great value. This one, sorry, we've already written that one. Some favourite music, bit of a fun one from, is that a mate? Edric?
If I'm getting ready to play footy, I sort of like music that gets me up and about, so house or R&B or something like that. Yeah, any uplifting music before I play footy is normally good.
I think you've touched on this one already with a lot of the gems you've dropped all the way through, but is there anything that specifically you'd say, I know you've focused a fair bit on doing extra work compared to your peers, but is that what it comes down to? That work rate would be your number one advice for someone wanting to make the AFL?
Yeah, I would say so, but quality with which you do it. Like, I suppose you can do reps as you want, but if it's not done with intent and, at speed, really helping yourself. So I suppose if I'm doing an extra touch session, I'll try and do that really.
Yeah.
Not so that I'm running legs, but with my hands and with my mind, some purpose is important.
Yeah. Already touched on that one. I think we'll go last 2.
I'm surprised there's been no curly ones thrown in from some of the boys yet. I can't actually see the questions, but I'm sure that
yeah, there's plenty, mate. I'm filtering. That's my role.
I can't see anything.
If you hit the bottom question button, you can see them all.
Question button.
Yeah, can you see that right at the bottom next to comment? Should have there's someone just set one in now, so it might have a red right at the bottom. Maybe it doesn't come through.
Is that the smiley face one?
Is that, do you have, it's 2 to the left of that?
No, I don't have it.
Okay, it might be because I was first on hosting, maybe, so it just comes through. I didn't realise that. I thought it came through. Yeah, there's a few silly ones.
Any that are worth sharing or not?
Nah. I don't think so.
Fair enough.
This one's good because we'll go into this sort of theme now, going into 2021. What are you most excited about? And this is pretty much very similar. Are you feeling good about the upcoming season finals return? It sounds like this is a Hawthorn supporter, Anthony. Yeah, you've touched on it a little bit, but what's your feel? What does pre-season look like as well? Is this one's obviously a bit different, I imagine, in terms of time. Is it a bit shorter? What does this pre-season entail?
Yeah, the older players so 5 years plus, if you've been in the system 5 years plus, you're not required to be back until January 6th. So I think with the season going a little bit longer, they've given guys an extra break. Yeah, which I think it'll be good for some guys. Some guys really enjoy that mental freshen up, and that really helps their performance. So yeah, in terms of the season, I think we probably touched on it before. Like we want to bounce back, and what I'm looking forward to is, who knows with COVID, but hopefully it's a normal-ish season. Hopefully we can get some crowds back. Hopefully the Hawks fans can come along. I'm not sure what will happen with the quarter length and things like that, but hopefully it's back to a normal game of AFL.
Yeah, get the MCG filled again.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
That'd be amazing. And like you touched on as well, we'll appreciate it so much more now.
Yeah, you definitely notice it without the crowds. Like, not having crowds there was, I don't know, it was, definitely played a part on the atmosphere. It just wasn't the same. So hopefully this year we can, we did have little crowds when we're in the hubs, but hopefully we can get some home games and get some real Hawthorn support there.
Yeah, and you touched on it earlier, but from now you're in this sort of performance mode with your off-season, where last year you were in rehabilitation. I know you're in rehab with your shoulder, but what are some areas of focus that you want to get out of this off-season, pre-season on an individual level?
Yeah, well, probably leg strength is one. I feel as when your legs are strong, which I think 2017 and 2018 was probably the strongest I've been, and that probably showed up in my performance. But you're stronger over the ball. You can run out games for longer. You have more power and bursts and things like that. So I haven't been able to really get a lot of that quality strength, I would say, into my legs, just due to the leg injury. So that's probably one that looking forward to focusing on this pre-season.
Yeah. And what type of exercises would you attribute in 2017, 18? What were your sort of key exercises in the gym? Was it single leg based, double leg based, jumping work? What are sort of your favourite type of exercises to help your game?
Yeah, I can't really jump that high, but plyometric jumps and things like that are always good. Yeah, a lot of single leg stuff, with players. A lot of players manage sort of patellar tendonitis type issues. So I was doing a lot of leg extension, leg press, squatting occasionally. I really enjoyed like sled pushes and things like that.
Yeah,
and even using the green power band as well for sort of power-based training. So yeah, haven't been able to do that for a while. So hopefully this pre-season, 4-time premiership physio Andrew Lambert gives me the all clear to
Yeah. Fantastic. He's got a couple of shout-outs tonight. Hopefully he's watching. He's got two there. He's done well at the start and at the end as well. Hopefully he's been watching. I haven't seen his name pop up. Sometimes he likes to creep in. There's a few that have written you some comments throughout the way, so you can have you been? Are they popping up on your screen?
No, I've got nothing. It might be a good thing that I can't see him, because I'd probably start dishing it back. So
yeah, it'd be on. Well, I want to thank you again, mate. This was amazing. Thank you heaps for your time and sharing your experiences as well as your knowledge for everyone. I really appreciate you coming on, mate. It was really good.
No worries. Anytime, mate. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. And I'll come down for a lift session soon. Snacks Fit, those barbecue shapes at the end.
See you at Snacks Fit soon.
No better post